Warning: Copyright disclaimer. Under Section 107 of the Copyright Act 1976, allowance is made for fair use for purposes such as criticism, comment, news reporting, teaching, scholarship, and research. Fair use is a use permitted by copyright statute that might otherwise be infringing. Nonprofit, educational, or personal use tips the balance in favor of fair use.
What it do, family and friends? Welcome back to the Church of Black Power. If you're not subscribed, go ahead and hit that subscribe button along with the notification bell so you'll be notified whenever videos like this drop. Please make sure you're hitting that like and share button so we can beat up the algorithm. Make sure we get this message out to the ears that need to hear it. If you have not done so yet, please go to the description, click the link in it, go to change.org, and put your signature on the petition for reparations. And with that being said, family, happy Monday to everybody. We're starting the week with some F-boy shit. Let's put it like that. We're starting the week off with some F-boy stuff. Apparently, yesterday, Joe Biden decides that he's going to pardon Hunter Biden. Yes, the same Hunter Biden that was convicted on federal tax and gun charges. The same young man who was running around getting his brother's wife high off of crack cocaine. The same man that's in multiple videos. The same man whose laptop was deemed to be a security risk. Yeah, he was Biden's first pick to be pardoned. I'm not surprised, because we, as foundationally Black Americans, we understand and understand how corrupt the Democrats are. And if y'all didn't know, just look at the past 4 years. The corruption within the Democratic Party has been on display. But I want to get into this news article, and then we're going to talk about it, family. So let's get there.
Remember, Hunter Biden has not only been investigated by Republicans in Congress for years, but by the Justice Department that President Biden has presided over. While allowing these DOJ investigations into his son to be carried out, Biden now says he's giving a, quote, full and unconditional pardon for offenses against the United States which he has committed or may have committed or taken part in during the period from January 1st, 2014 through December 1st, 2024. Biden insisting the cases against him, in which he was convicted for illegally buying a gun and pled guilty to federal tax charges, were politically motivated. He called them unrelenting attacks on his son, who has been sober 5.5 years, saying, Hunter was singled out only because he is my son, and that is wrong. It's a change of tune from a few months ago when he was still the Democratic presidential nominee.
Have you ruled out a pardon for your son?
Yes.
House Oversight Committee Chairman James Comer posting on X, Joe Biden has lied from start to finish about his family's corrupt influence peddling activities. The pardon comes just days before Hunter Biden was set to be sentenced in his federal cases, sentencings that had been delayed from earlier in the fall. I'm Christine Frizzell reporting.
So, family, he don't have to lie anymore. He's not going to make it into the presidency. And even if he was, let's say he was able to run again and he won, he still would have pardoned. He still would have pardoned Hunter. And if you think that he wouldn't have, then you must not know Joe Biden. You must not have been watching these past 4 years. The only reason why he said he ruled out a pardon for him beforehand because he was on the campaign trail, and that would not have looked good. But now he just don't care because he's going to be leaving office anyway on January 21st. So now, you know, Biden's just doing what he want to do. And there's a lot of people who would be sitting there calling foul if Trump was to do this to his son, if he was practicing that type of nepotism, then you would hear all kind of people yelling and screaming foul. But since it's Biden and the Democratic Party doing it, these same people who would be screaming foul are acting as if it's a good thing. Let's scroll over here to X. Shout out to our brother B Zilla. This person here says, I love the fact that President Biden pardoned his son, Hunter. Love. And I love that it triggers MAGA heavily too. Bonus. So basically, what this person just said here, Crooklyn Dad Defiant, what he's basically saying is he don't care about the rule of law as long as it doesn't apply to the Democratic Party. Now, as long as it applies to everybody else, he's fine with it, including Black Americans. Our brother B Zilla PDX says, I guess he's also loves a corrupt administration. And I'm sure he does. Because he don't have a problem with a corrupt administration as long as it's the Democratic Party. As long as they're Democrats. Instead of being against corruption all across the board, no. I'm fine with corruption as long as Joe Biden's doing the corrupting. As long as it's somebody in the Democratic Party who's doing the corrupting. These are the type of people. Bakari Sadler's come out and he says, thank God, pardon Hunter. Trump plays by no rules, abuses the law. He would have pardoned Hunter and called you a coward for not doing it. That's speculation. I don't believe that Trump would have pardoned Hunter. I gave you guys my belief, and I said it straight up and straight out. I believe if anybody's getting pardoned, then Joe Biden would be pardoning Trump before he got into office, and then Trump would be pardoning Biden when he got out of office, or when he was going into office, excuse me. That was my belief. And that could still happen, but I doubt it now because this situation here makes everything look a hell of a lot worse than it would have looked if they would have just pardoned each other. And now I don't believe that Trump would move in that direction because of this situation here. He wouldn't want his name anywhere around these pardons. If he was smart, at least. But this was the great hypocrite known as Joe Biden.
We must take back the streets. It doesn't matter whether or not they're the victims of society. The end result is they're about to knock my mother on the head with a lead pipe, shoot my sister, beat up my wife, take on my sons. So I don't want to ask, what made them do this? They must be taken off the street.
He don't feel the same way about his son, though. When his son was running around here with pistols, doing all the crack that he could find. Hell, even having his own sister-in-law turn tricks. He don't care about the rule of law when it comes to security risks, none of that. And for those who know what else was on Hunter Biden's laptop, that just so happened to have his 14-year-old naked cousin on it, he don't care about none of that either. Let's continue.
Unless we do something about that cadre of young people, tens of thousands of them, born out of wedlock, without parents, without supervision, without any structure, without any conscience developing, because they literally have not been socialized. They literally have not had an opportunity. We should focus on them now. If we don't, they will, or a portion of them will, become the predators 15 years from now. And Madam President, we have predators on our streets. Again, it does not mean because we created them that we somehow forgive them or do not take them out of society to protect my family and yours from them.
Notice that he said we created them. Don't let that fly over your head when he says just because we created them that we shouldn't forgive them. This is Joe Biden. This is your president as of right now.
They are beyond the pale, many of those people. Beyond the pale. And it's a sad commentary on society. We have no choice but to take them out of society. And the truth is, we don't very well know how to rehabilitate them at that point. That's the sad truth. Let me put it another way. The heart of the president's bill, I believe, are basically shop-worn proposals that, whatever their merit, will do very little to reduce crime in this country. And I might add, Biden crime bill is before us, calls for the death penalty for 51 offenses. A wag in the newspaper recently wrote that something to the effect that Biden has made it a death penalty offense for everything but jaywalking. I am a supporter of the death penalty. I am a supporter of the death penalty without the racial justice provision in it. I think it's better with it, but I'm supportive without it in it as well.
You could call that the more you know Joe. The more you know Joe. But Sellers goes on. He says, y'all ran and won on pardoning actual insurrectionists. Chill on a man pardoning his son. Like I said, these people literally are hypocrites. As Torian Walker says here, our brother, shout out to him. Y'all have absolutely no moral center. Retired MSG. How many black sons and daughters got over by this very same white supremacist? Y'all black Americans had better pay attention to who your enemies are. This bitch ass nigga is one of them. And I fully agree. Sabby Sabs, she says, just admit you're a hypocrite and keep it moving. You guys are full of shit. I totally agree. You spent months saying no one is above the law, and yet you're applauding it for Biden. Man, get the F out of here. I agree. And I want to end off with what our brother Sage said here. Shout out to our brother Sage. My cousin served 32 years in jail due to the 3 strikes. And this dude pardons his son just like that. WS, white supremacy, never is subjected to its own rules. And that's what it is. And this is what we fight. As foundational black Americans, this is what we fight. And this is what we fight, and no other person with melanated skin around the globe fight the way we fight. Because this is the hub of white supremacy. And the architects of white supremacy are right here. And everybody else want to come to America, ignoring that it's the hub of white supremacy and just wagging their fingers at us as if we don't know what we're talking about, when time after time after time after time, no matter who it is, whether it's on the right or whether it's on the left or whether it's just in between, you have these white supremacists in all areas doing things like this, putting through policies worse than that. But this is what we're seeing, family. This is where we're at. And we're supposed to be voting for people like that. And let me ask you this question. Do you not think that Kamala, if she would have gotten to office, wouldn't have done the same thing? I'm pretty sure she would have. Y'all might think that she mad at Biden and all this other stuff, but I'm pretty sure if she would have gotten that office, she would have owed Biden a favor for nominating her, for putting her in that position yet again. Family, they're all corrupt. And if you think otherwise, then you're literally slow in the head and you need to go get your brain checked. And if you believe any of these politicians care about you, if they don't come from you, well then I got a bridge over in Narnia that I can sell you. And with that being said, family, if you're not subscribed, go ahead and hit that subscribe button along with the notification bell so you can be notified whenever videos like this drop. Please make sure you're hitting that like and share button so we can beat up the algorithm. Make sure we get this message out to the ears that need to hear. And if you have not done so yet, click that link in the description, go to change.org and put your signature on the petition for reparations. Family, you can be disappointed all you want, but shocked, that you can't be. Because we're seeing left and right how both sides play this game. How both sides will use the presidential pen to their want rather than making sure that it is an equitable and equal situation for everybody across the board. When you have a father who's a president and he can just pardon you of all your crimes, don't come and talk to me about the rule of law. Don't come and talk to me about being a law and order president. With that being said, family, the doors of the church are now closed. Peace, family.